In the early 1990s, a child actor personified innocence for millions. Today, he serves a life sentence as a convicted predator and cult leader. This is Nathan Chasinghorse. At 14, he played the young Sioux boy Smiles a Lot in the 1990 Western epic Dances with Wolves. The film swept the Academy Awards with 7 wins, earning global praise for attempting to redefine Native American representation on screen. It aimed to replace the hostile depictions of early cinema with something more reverent. However, the production substituted one set of stereotypes for another. This new, romanticized imagery created the perfect camouflage for a real-world predator. The mystical medicine man trope reduces Indigenous characters to spiritual conduits. It relies on 3 pillars: supernatural wisdom, moral flawlessness, and a savior complex. During this time, public demand for alternative spiritualism spiked. Audiences sought digestible, romanticized Indigenous wisdom to solve their personal struggles. Chasinghorse observed this fascination while touring the powwow circuit as a celebrity. He saw that audiences bypassed the reality of the teenage actor and engaged directly with the mystical figure they recognized from the silver screen. He recognized a dark opportunity. By performing the mystical native role in his daily life, he could bypass the skepticism of strangers and exert unquestioning power over the vulnerable. Chasinghorse spent the next 2 decades traveling the country, establishing himself as an elite healer with an exclusive connection to ancestral spirits. He targeted people surviving severe illnesses, such as cancer, claiming that his ceremonies offered a spiritual cure that modern medicine could not provide. This healing came with a heavy cost. He told his followers they had to exchange their lives and commit entirely to him, warning that the spirits would take the lives of those who were half-hearted. This fear-mongering allowed him to build a devoted following known as the Circle, which reached a peak of approximately 300 members. His Hollywood-validated celebrity effectively neutralized the natural skepticism of his victims. He became a messianic figure in their eyes, someone perceived to be incapable of doing wrong. Inside the Circle, Chasinghorse began a process of systemic financial extraction. Followers were manipulated into surrendering their money and assets to fund his lifestyle and travels. He paired financial control with psychological isolation. He convinced mothers to surrender their daughters for wellness ceremonies, effectively separating young girls from their families. Fear and spiritual authority kept the victims paralyzed. They believed his spiritual connection controlled their health and their future. Eventually, former followers realized that the ultimate medicine man persona was a tool for extortion. They saw a predator using a spiritual mask to exploit the desperate. The cult sustained its power by weaponizing the victim's own faith in a manufactured, cinematic stereotype. Actual Indigenous authorities triggered the first major fracture in his empire. In 2015, leaders at the Fort Peck Reservation formally banished him from their lands. This emboldened victims and their families to speak out. Mothers publicly refused to give Chasinghorse power over their health, stripping away the spiritual authority he had used to silence them. The decades of systematic abuse reached a definitive legal halt in 2023. Chasinghorse was arrested in Nevada for sexual assault and sex trafficking. Following a trial that detailed his role as a cult leader, a judge sentenced Chasinghorse to life in prison. The harsh reality of his criminal conviction stands in direct contrast to the cinematic heroism associated with his youth. His actions caused significant cultural collateral damage, commercially exploiting and degrading authentic Indigenous traditions to maintain his influence. Native community leaders have emphasized a clear distinction. True medicine men and women exist solely to heal their people, and their work is defined by the absence of harm. This case reveals a significant danger in our media consumption. A cultural preference for romanticized tropes over complex human reality creates blind spots that predators can easily navigate. Stripping away Hollywood illusions and viewing Indigenous cultures in their authentic human reality is the only way to strip predators of their ultimate camouflage.